residents to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and next to me is the Doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
That's right.
Yeah. Today we are joined by the host of Android's amazing podcast. It's Hunter Van Lierop.
Oh, you got the name right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard only had to send me 6 frantic texts with different versions of possible pronunciation.
You could have just hit me up. I would have let you guys know. Yeah, the Lierop. A lot of people get it wrong. My one buddy still calls me Vanna Lierop. Like Vanna with an A in there. I'm like, come on, man. We've been
That's the part that he has a problem with.
He adds an A to it for some reason. I don't know.
Is your friend like a stereotypical Italian?
Vanna Lierop.
No. Vanna Lierop.
Yeah. Passa the spaghetti, Vanna Lierop.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, since this is your first time on the show, just so people can get to know you a little bit, how did you first get into comics? What's the stuff you like? How did you start?
The loaded question. All right.
Oh,
so,
I know.
My dad has been a huge influence on my comic habits. Back when I was a kid, I was always engrossed with what he had. Like he had graphic novels on the walls, and he had posters and artwork and toys everywhere for Marvel, DC, even some independent stuff.
Wow.
So I've always been around the world of comics, whether it's through the media or through the pages or even through content on the internet and stuff like that.
That's awesome. I mean, what were some of the first things that you read? Is there something that sticks out as like a childhood favorite character or
Spider-Man for sure? Spider-Man is one of my favorite characters of all time. I think one of the first books I ever read, or at least I remember reading, was the Ultimate Spider-Man books from Brian Michael Bendis.
Nice.
It was when Marvel put out the smaller versions instead of having the normal trade size. They had the small ones for kids.
Right.
I ended up getting a bunch of those when they did them in the small format, and I would just read those with my dad. And then around 2013 or 2012, whenever DC did New 52.
Yeah, 2011.
Wow. That's when I really got into comics, because my dad was like, hey, they're rebooting everything. It's still the same kind of stories, but everything's fresh. So I was like, oh, sweet. I don't got to read 800 issues of Superman. I can just read number one. Sign me up. So then I started reading more Marvel and DC, because Marvel also relaunched themselves around 2011, 2012 with Marvel Now with all new number ones. Yeah. So I was able to just get myself into the modern comics. And then, of course, I went back and read Watchmen and House of M and Civil War. I've read all the big stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's funny that you bring up Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man, because I think both of us, not necessarily like we know Spider-Man, but we're not necessarily huge Spider-Man comic readers. And I think both of us are I think Miles might be our Spider-Man, between the movies and the video game and a couple of things that I've read. I'm like, oh man, is Miles my Spider-Man?
Right?
Yeah.
It's
Peter is my Spider-Man.
I think what it is lapsed Marvel readers who are in their mid-30s or 13-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's the two people that fall into Miles. I think, that PS4/PS5 game really was the one that did it.
Yeah, I didn't get to play it yet, but I heard it is amazing.
I'm 40% of the way through it right now, and it's really something.
I
messaged Richard. I messaged you, and I was like, I think I'm gonna buy some Miles Spider-Man comics. I was like,
I was actually a Miles hater for the longest time. I know this isn't a Marvel podcast, and we'll get to the DC stuff soon.
Oh, don't worry, I'll delete all of this.
Oh, okay. I wasn't even a big Miles Morales guy until recently. I'm a big Peter guy, so I was against Miles initially, not because he was, he's different, blah, blah. It was because it's not my Spider-Man, I was like, well, whatever. And then when the movie came out and I watched the movie, I was like, so this is what this guy's like? All right, let me go back and read everything.
Right.
So I read literally every Miles Morales book from his introduction, and I was like, wow, I was ignorant for a little bit.
I think every generation gets that moment, right? I'm sure people pushed back on Kyle Rayner when he came in.
Oh, for sure.
And now Kyle's this beloved one where they're they're not doing enough with Kyle Rayner this.
I was complaining about that a couple years ago. They put him in Titans as a backup character, and I was like, why is he here?
Yeah, and I mean they basically haven't done much with him since. So
Mhm.
No, he's
kinda
gonna
still
be in the new book, so fingers crossed.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Okay,
Also-
so then on the DC side then,
Yeah.
who's your favorite DC character? Do you have one?
That is a mixed bucket. I'd probably, if gun to my head, probably say Nightwing.
Right.
Oh.
That's a
But if
good
you let-
pick.
But
That's a
if you
good
let me,
pick.
best button comics. But if you let me expand that a little bit, am I lying?
No,
So-
and you're on the right show for that too. Yeah. THICC.
Oh,
Dick
yeah.
Grayson.
the double C's,
yeah,
the double C's.
Yeah.
The new Bruno Redondo cover just shows it off. They're just like, there's his butt. I'm like, he knows. They all know. Yeah, but so Nightwing is probably my favorite comic DC character, but then Flash and Lobo are like fighting for number 2. Like I love Barry Allen Flash specifically. I know a lot of people's my generation was like, oh, Wally's my Flash, but I read Barry.
Yeah, I'm a Barry
I'm a
Allen
Barry
guy.
guy,
My
yeah.
dad had a bunch of Barry Allen Flash comics. That's how I got into it. Barry's
Flashpoint was my
Flash.
first Flash comic book, and then I continued
Wow.
into New 52, and then that's when I was Barry Allen. I knew who Wally was because of TV and stuff, but I didn't know like he was Flash for a long time, even longer than Barry at some points.
Yeah, totally.
And then Lobo came in when I started reading more like comedy, fun stuff. Like I always knew who Lobo was from like the Superman TV shows.
yeah,
And Young Justice, he was in an episode or two.
Yeah.
And then eventually they started doing like, Lobo shows up here, Lobo shows up there. And then I went back and read a whole bunch of Lobo stuff, and I was like, this character is just so stupid and so fun. And then 2014 happened, but we'll talk about that later.
I think we got a question about that one. Yeah.
I put that on my list just so we could talk about it, just briefly.
Well, we got a ton of questions.
We did. We got
but
lots.
Wow,
we haven't
that's
talked
awesome.
about who we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about the main man.
The bastich.
The
Yeah,
bastich.
you wrote that on the thing, and I'm like, is that how people? I don't.
That's his catchphrase.
That's his catchphrase. He refers to himself as the main man. He'll be like, contract calls for the main man to like.
Oh, because
like,
here's the thing. Like, I think the problem is Jason Momoa's Aquaman. Sort of.
oh yeah, my man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what it comes to mind.
I
for
mean,
me.
honestly, Jason Momoa
Could do such
great
a
as Aquaman, but could have been a real incredible Lobo.
He could have been a better Lobo than anything
Yeah.
we've ever gotten so far.
They
Yeah.
just started adding fish stuff to him because they were like, oh god, we can't sell this Lobo thing, so I guess he's Aquaman.
You just slowly morph him.
Yeah. It was really him like walking on a different planet and like, I don't know. And they're like, oh, I guess just like put some ocean or something in front of him.
That's right. Just reused shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're talking about Lobo, the Last Czarnian, the main man, the bad bastich. He's got all sorts of insane monikers and things like that. But intergalactic bounty hunter, Lobo.
Or is that
Lover
like
of
the call?
space dolphins.
Lover of space dolphins,
Killer of Santa.
killer of Santa.
That is indeed true.
All right. Well, why don't we get into the questions, which means
Let's do it.
we're heading on over to Facebook.
Going to the face and the book. Going to the Facebook.
Then the first question comes from We've Only Just Dandon, who asks, can you talk about what Zarnia was like before Lobo destroyed it? Is that right? Am I saying that
Yeah,
right?
Zarnia. Yeah.
I actually know the answer to this, but only because of Lobo 2014.
And are there any other Zarnians, and how many bastard children has he had?
One.
Whoa.
Yeah,
We have answers. We have
one-
answers.
one bastard child. Her
Okay.
name is Crush, and she's
She's dope.
part of the most recent version of Teen
She's
Titans.
just a little crush.
Oh my god, that song. Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about like Zarnia, his home world? Where does
Did you
Lobo
have to-
come from?
Do you have to go through a wardrobe to get to it?
Yeah.
No,
There's a biker, Mr.
it's a mixed
Tumnus.
bag. Liam Neeson is the voice of Mr. Tumnus in this one, though.
Yeah.
There's no Zarn. No, he's the voice of the space dolphins. Let me.
I was
correct
walking.
That's
Around,
right,
I was
yeah.
walking around the planet looking for any Zarnian.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, let's talk about Zarnia a little bit.
So I don't really know too much about it from anything except for the 2014 version of the comic book where they kind of redid it. I know that it's kind of like had a similar story to what Krypton was, where it was a planet on the brink of destruction, and Lobo said, fuck this, I'm going to kill everybody, and I'm going to be the last Zarnian. I'm the main man. Done. Game over. So we just killed everybody on the planet, kind of like how Larfleeze killed every single Orange Lantern because he's greedy. Just like,
Right.
this is it. I'm the only one. And then he went to become a bounty hunter. That's like the base of what we get at the beginning. But then we see in Lobo 2014, it was kind of like space Game of Thrones, but everyone was like pure white, like Lobo.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so when they first created Lobo, like as a character, he was meant to like make fun of hyper violent characters like Wolverine and
sure.
stuff like that. And so in the original versions of Lobo, he just says that he killed his entire race as a like 4th grade science project.
Oh my god.
Like his science project was making his people extinct.
Jesus.
They never really go into why or how or anything like that. It was more just like, look how extreme
he's so
he is.
badass, he killed
like
everybody.
The actual detail of it was never really given substance. That Lobo series from 2014, where they were kind of revamping him and trying to reimagine Lobo a bit, they were like, we should give him like an actual story, not just like something like, throwaway, like funny.
Yeah, it ended up being like political conspiracy. Like he was the servant to the princess, and there was the dad was evil, and there was I've read this in so long. There was like a lot of political conspiracy. Ended up doing like what Krypton did, where it was like about to go extinct, and then they were like, you got to send your daughter and her servant, who's also her boyfriend, but they don't talk about it, off to, go restart the population somewhere else. And then she gets caught up in something, and then it explodes, and that messes with him, and it's a whole situation.
In a weird way, though, like giving him an actual proper backstory, I think sucks more than just
for sure.
having this like insane space biker that's like, yeah, it was a class project in 4th grade. I wiped out my species. Mm-hmm. Pour another drink.
I kind of love that.
So that's Czarnia. We talked about Crush. How many bastard children does he have? Well, we know about Crush. I think it's safe to say there might be another one out there.
I believe there's just the one as of right now.
Yeah.
But we will probably find out that there's at least 2 or 3 more, because they have a Crush arc coming up again, because they didn't really do it properly the first time in the new Teen Titans Academy comic.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed they do that proper. Come on, Infinite Frontiers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
All right, let's go to the next question.
Let's do it.
From our old friend Chicken Matty.
Bark, bark.
Matthew Poulter, who asks, I've noticed in my own personal experience that fans of Lobo also seem to love Deadpool. What do you think the overlap is between what's appealing about those two characters?
I mean, it's just got to be the hyper violence, right?
It's the hyper violence and the fourth wall breaking.
Does Lobo do that sort of fourth wall stuff?
Yes and no. It depends on the book.
Yeah, not as much as Deadpool. Not like in every comic, but Lobo will have these sort of like other adventures sometimes, like that paramilitary Christmas special. Where these other
usually
things
happens
that are
on the covers as well. A lot of the covers shall talk to the audience.
Yeah,
that's his like fourth wall.
Okay. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you'll get like a "What are you looking at?" kind of like that sort of shit. I think it's got to be the hyper violence though, right? Like he's so insane. He just shows up on this like as a biker, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a bounty hunter, dead or alive." And sometimes he like frags them so bad he just like brings a toe back or something. Like,
yeah, it's also the writing styles they use. With Lobo, he's always been crazy, and then Deadpool wasn't actually crazy for a while, and then eventually around 1990 to 2000, whatever, he ended up starting to become like lol random clown man. And that's when a lot of the similarities started like coming together, where it was like, oh, hyper violence plus comedy equals good. And that's what all of Lobo was essentially.
Yeah. I mean, Lobo is sort of funny because I think he's like an outlet for all of the things that you can't write seriously. Like if you were to write Lobo as a serious character, it's like you missed your mark by like 3
They tried. They tried. 2014. It was bad.
But also you missed your mark by like 3 decades in terms of like how we view like toxic masculinity and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And then also it's just like you just suck all the fun out of it. Like Lobo as a character would punch incels in the face. But like he's written to be what incels would think is cool.
Yeah.
Like there's something so hilarious about that. And I wonder if Deadpool written well could also kind of be that thing where
What is that Jason Statham movie where he has to like keep his heart rate up or like
Crank?
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 Yeah, it's
I
Crank.
feel like you could do a Crank type movie with him.
with
Where it's,
Lobo.
yeah, where it's just
Oh.
it's so fucking like not taking itself seriously, and it's just like him like just fucking murking people on like some on weird like alien planets or something. Like make it so
Yeah.
dissociated from reality, but like hyper violent, like and like Guardians of the Galaxy style like aliens, planets, and like color skews.
Yeah.
I feel like you could absolutely do like I would watch that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean the soundtrack to a Lobo movie would be like Motorhead and Metallica.
Yeah. Like make it the fucking make
Yeah.
it 300 but on in space. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's got to have a couple comedy songs in there to sprinkle out the
yeah,
violence.
like I
yeah,
would
yeah. It's gotta have like every rose has its thorn or something like that. in there.
literally call it like the toxic masculinity movie or something. Like
Yeah.
know exactly what it is and go no this is just this. It's not against any of the stuff that's positive. We just want to make something that's literally just violence and
It's
like,
the new
loud.
Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
I think that's what people like about Lobo though, is that like most of the people that I think like Lobo don't like him for the he's a badass thing. They
Oh,
like
yeah,
him
no.
because of the like inversion
Yeah,
kind of thing.
how
I like him
ridiculous-
because he's stupid and like
Yes.
crazy and out of this world, insane. And every time he shows up, it's a treat.
yeah.
It's not because he's like a super cool guy you want to be like.
Yeah, exactly.
No, God, no.
yeah.
I think that's what makes it important. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. All right, let's go to the next question
All right.
from Chad Bucher.
I actually think it's Beaker.
Yeah, but I know, but I've made a decision. I've
Okay.
changed his name.
Bucher. All right.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, Chad, that's your name now.
yeah. Deal with it. Respell it so it makes more sense.
Oh, jeez.
Go back in time. Tell your ancestors.
Yeah, go back to Ellis Island
Yeah.
and fix your last name.
Um,
Making so many assumptions there that Ellis
so
Island
many.
is even involved.
You really were like, I mean, I did something bad and you just made it worse.
Yeah, I did.
We're a great team.
What does he ask?
Chad asks, everyone has their least favorite character, and Lobo is mine. That being
dare you.
said, what other hero could beat him to a bloody pulp? Please be as graphic as possible.
So just the context up top before we get too deep into this.
Yeah.
Lobo is super strength to like a crazy
Yeah.
extent. He's got like super durability,
Yeah.
super healing, like that sort of Deadpool Wolverine impossible
Yeah.
comic
Yeah.
healing. He
can literally heal from one molecule all the way back
Yeah.
to full Lobo.
and his soul isn't even allowed to pass on because there is a story where he's kicked out of hell and then he goes to heaven and he causes such a ruckus there they kick him out of heaven. So he's been refused entry to heaven and hell, so he cannot die. So that being said,
Superman, probably.
Superman, Lobo and Superman can actually go kind of toe to toe, which is always
Yeah.
interesting. But yeah, Superman could definitely beat him up. I kind of think a character like Atrocitus, like the Red Lantern. I
He
think
would try his hardest to do it. Vomit some blood, vomit some blood mist onto him or something, and try to like burn him down. But
yeah,
you really got to like. Here's the thing. So you know how Wolverine in the Ultimate comic, he gets ripped in half and thrown
Yeah.
across 2 mountains, and he crawls back.
that's right. Yeah,
Do you think Lobo is more like a starfish, where if he's ripped in half, 2 Lobos will pop up and then they'll fight each other?
Oh, that's interesting.
so now see this. It's interesting that you say that. For the most part, he just comes back as one thing.
Yeah,
But
that's what I figured.
in one of those Tales from the Dark Multiverse stories, the one where they redo Blackest Night as if
Yeah.
the heroes don't win.
yeah.
In that one, Lobo gets atomized, and every single one of them grows back as a Lobo. So
Yeah,
there's
that's
an
what I was
army,
thinking too.
an army of Lobos. So in that one, they say like
Wow.
because there's maybe it's because
They
there's not,
separated them too much.
or because there's not one main piece left, or something like
Yeah.
that. Whatever comic book excuse you want to give.
Mhm.
That in that one, each one grows back as Lobo,
Mhm.
which is kind of insane.
There was a comic book idea that I had that if I ever get to write for DC, I'm going to pitch super hard. It's basically Spider-Verse, but for Lobo, but they all try to kill each other. It's every Lobo ever. big 6-issue punches stuff. That's it. They just beat the shit out of each other. So
Wow.
DC
I mean,
hire me.
that's exactly the sort of Lobo story that would be a ton of fun. Yeah, I mean, I think characters that would like obviously Lobo will come back from anything, but characters
Yeah.
that could mess him up a lot. I think we're right. It's like a Superman. It's like an Atrocitus.
Mongol, Darkseid, stuff like
Yeah, yeah. Mongol Darkseid. Certainly in terms of just like fisticuffs.
that. Yeah.
Mongol would be a really good one in there.
I think
too.
Batman was able to like figure out how to like neutralize him because he's Batman.
Batman.
But-
Well, Batman in Justice League versus Suicide Squad injects him with the nano bomb and blows his head off at one point because he knows he can come back. So
Yeah, it
That's
just
kinda-
neutralizes him for a hot sec. He's like, all right, we got to take down Lobo because he won't stop. Blow his
yeah,
head up. We got 5 minutes to kill everybody else.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Facebook and head on over to Twitter.
Twitter.
First question comes from Jeff Whaley.
Jeff Whaley.
Jeff Whaley asks, "What's with New 52 Lobo?"
Oh, here you go, Hunter. This
He's
is where
hot.
this is where you come alive.
Hey man, this was my first quote unquote canon introduction to Lobo back in the New 52 because he had like small appearances in other books like Deathstroke, but it wasn't really like he was a big part of it. I think he was in
Yeah.
3 issues before 2014, and obviously like I knew who Lobo was before that, but this is like the big Lobo introduction, and they said they were going to give him an origin. It's written by Cullen Bunn, and it's art by Riley Brown and a bunch of others because nobody wanted to stay on that book.
Yeah.
So, they wanted to make it a more approachable Lobo. They wanted to do something where people could not, I got to go read 50 years of Lobo just to get the references he throws out. They wanted to make him a new modern Lobo. So in the first page of the book, it's new Lobo cutting the head off of old Lobo and going,
Yeah.
this guy wasn't the real one. And I was like, okay, give it a year.
Yeah, it was such like it wasn't just here's a new version of Lobo. It was that they made him kill the old Lobo.
Yeah. And he's like, he was fake. He was
He's-
lying
yeah.
about Caesarea. And
He's
I'm
like,
like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's weird. Design wise, he's like slim and
he looks like Robert
young,
Pattinson. I
and
wrote
he's
down in my
hot.
notes.
He doesn't have like gross stubble and a cigar. He's
Mhm.
like,
No, he's like trim.
yeah, he's like a sexy
get it.
Lobo. I
That's
think
really
they
funny.
said that they were trying to make the design a little bit closer to Lobo's like earliest appearances. Like Lobo first appears
In
in like
Omega Men.
Omega Men 3
Yeah.
or something like that. And he's
He doesn't even.
thinner
He
and-
still looks like scraggly though. His hair is like long and mullety.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they wanted to make him approachable and hot and modern. So they wanted to have him basically have his own origin story where he's just like everything at face value. He's not as toxic as he's portrayed to be initially. He's got a backstory.
Yeah.
He's got a sob story. He's got a girlfriend.
It sort
He's
of
got
just
a
makes him
planet.
generic, though, right? Like all
Honestly, it
those
does.
things we were talking about that we like about Lobo are just like gone. Here, I'm going to show you a picture, Richard, because I want you to understand how hot topic this
Yeah, and
version of Lobo
it was coming from Cullen Bunn.
What?
Too.
Yeah,
What?
that's New 52 Lobo.
He's still canon technically.
He is. That's
He's
true.
tied up in Brainiac's tools.
Bullshit.
That's right.
That's some bullshit.
He
Yeah.
eventually starts getting crazier and crazier as the comic goes on. He starts off looking trim, and then by the second volume, he's wearing the leather jacket. His hair is all messed up. He's got a little bit of stubble because he's slowly starting to go crazy because the first volume was taken at face value and people were like, nah, make him crazy again. So Cullen Bunn, who's usually a phenomenal writer, and I thought this book was written well, just executed poorly.
Yeah.
We get to see Lobo slowly start to go down the toilet into, oh man, he's crazy again because they know why we like Lobo.
That's some fucking
I do-
deviant art shit. That's what I can't
It
believe that.
is.
Yeah.
That's like someone with some real fucking like Lord of the Rings elf fucking horned up mentality.
This is the Twilight version of
Boo.
Lobo.
Yeah, I
Okay.
compared him to Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
make,
yeah.
make Lobo, but fuckable.
they need to have like the real Lobo needs to fucking murder that Lobo.
It's so,
Well,
and that was-
this
that's my whole
Lobo
thing.
is
They
this
haven't done it.
Lobo is imprisoned right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's stuck in Brainiac's things as like a tiny little dude. I think it was in one of the Justice League books or something. Nightwing and company find him, and he's like stuck in the jar. And he's like, "Help!" And they're just like, maybe we'll leave him there." And they walk away, and I'm like, "Let him out so Lobo can fight him and have a Lobo rematch." Come
Yeah.
on, 6-issue miniseries. Let's go. I got so many ideas
I'm
for Lobo.
furious. I'm furious.
That
it
made you
exists.
angry. I
That-
could see like your body language has changed.
I just like how like it's such a fuck. How dare they?
This is the closest I've ever
lot of
seen
people said
get
that.
to like true nerd rage.
Oh no, I'm caring.
Yeah.
Never mind. Whatever. Do whatever they want.
He looks like a Hot Topic threw up on him.
That's insane. That looks like some fucking like.
Listen, I will always like commend people for trying a different take on things. You got to do it. Things can't stay the same forever. And yet, I'm glad we have the real Lobo back.
Yeah, for sure. He came back in, I think, Justice League versus Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Which came out like 6 months later. They were like, nah, he's good.
That looks like a fucking third tier PS3 character. Like, I don't even. That looks like the cover art for some like terrible game that never got bought. Like
a Final Fantasy knockoff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh my god. That's do you remember when the what was it, the PS2?
What if Cloud once smoked a cigarette?
What was that game from like PS2 or PS3 with the lady with the long red hair that she would like
Heavenly Sword?
Yeah, that's what that fucking reminds me of. Heavenly Sword.
You were so ready for that one. That
Oh god, I love this shit. God, and I hate that shit. I'm furious. All right, let's move on.
Let's do it.
That's right, Braydon. Yes, Donkey Rises.
Most insane Twitter handle.
I've never been proud. I feel like a father for once. I have many children, but this is the first time.
Yeah, you're like Lobo.
Yeah, you bastiches. Oh. Braydon asks, what in the world does Keezy Femme mean? Referring to Young Justice's version of Lobo.
Let's take this question as an opportunity to talk about Lobo's speaking style.
Yes.
Because a lot of it comes from like having to like self-censor so that you could publish the comics, but also you definitely want to know he's swearing and stuff like that. So
like bastich is obviously bitch. Like
the word the word bastich. We also like he's
bastard.
Like frag. He uses frag for kill or like to just fuck someone up. It's like I'm gonna frag him.
He also says you fragging, like, are you fragging kidding me? Kind of like, F words and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes
there's one that he says that is like his version of God damn it, where he says Fetal's giz, which is very kind of gross sounding. He says Fetal's giz a lot. And then in Young Justice, his first appearance in Young Justice, he's fighting Wonder Girl and Batgirl, and he keeps calling them Keezy Femmes. And
probably
it doesn't mean
women.
It doesn't mean anything specific, but it
sure sounds offensive.
But it's 100% offensive.
Oh, it's probably like skimpy chicks or something like that. Like, come on, you bondage babes, get out of here.
Yeah. It's like the stank on the word. That's the thing I love about Lobo speak, is if it's written well, you could hear how awful it must feel to hear it. Like,
he's got stanky dialogue.
Yeah, if you say like, Keezy Femme, like
you're like, oh, I tried.
I imagine him as like Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, like, oh yeah, I'm the biggest bastich there is, brother.
Yeah,
this is what he is. The main man.
Damn. That's kind of a great way to like pitch Lobo just to people that aren't familiar with him, is that he's a wrestling heel.
Yeah,
like you are supposed to love him, but he's also the bad boy. He's a wrestling heel.
Yeah, that's great. I love that a lot. All right. Let's leave Twitter and head on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
First question comes from the one and only, the real Josh Gill.
Gill.
He's real.
Gill. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's so real.
Okay, come on.
He couldn't
be more real.
Yeah, he can reel me in.
Oh, jeez.
See his pole.
Yeah, I want a real Josh Gill.
The Gillman.
Oh, yeah. Fill me to the gill. Jesus Christ.
All right. Lobo, right?
Yeah, there's never a better episode to do really overt male sexuality than a Lobo episode.
Yeah, Gil, you Keezy Femme.
Yeah.
Oh,
you bastich. I love it.
Yeah, Fetal's giz.
Oh, that does sound really gross.
Doesn't that sound horrible?
Oh, you made me fetal's giz. I fetal gizzed everywhere.
It's like the Star Wars music. It's jizz music.
Yeah. I mean, so unfortunate for that whole style of music.
Yeah. Real Josh Gill asks, is it his Czarnian physiology that allows him to ride a space bike through space without a breathing apparatus?
It's like Superman.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because even with Superman, sometimes they make him like not talk in space. They're trying to say like Superman can fly
holding
through
his breath
space,
really
but he's
long.
holding his breath.
It's like
or
he's in the.
something.
It's like he's in the ocean. Yeah.
I think it's just I don't think it's ever been explained. I think it's just he's an alien. He's allowed to breathe in space. Look at Starfire. Who cares?
Yeah,
and
like I mean, he's on an open air space motorcycle, like
that shoots fire when it drives. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it shoots fire when it drives. His hair blows in the not wind.
Like space dolphins like flop up and down like they're diving when they're next to him. They don't just float.
I actually don't think he ever drove through space. I think he was on a studio stage.
Sorry, are you a Lobo truther?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah.
It was a soundstage in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah,
is where Lobo did all of his space flights.
It was so he could pay for all of those other movies he wanted to make.
And Kubrick directed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's just because he's Czarnian. Although, again, I don't really know how. I mean, I guess you just have to assume a Czarnian knows how to kill a Czarnian, and that's how he wiped out the rest of his species.
Yeah. Well, I think Czarnian is just an excuse for we didn't think of anything initially. He's just cool. I think that's what it was. They're like, he can do anything. Remember when Superman had super ventriloquism? I do. I remember.
Yeah,
that.
And it's like Lobo comics again. He was just supposed to be this like it was also like a takeoff on things. Like they weren't like worried about the physics of his space travel. They were just like, let's have him like put a cigar out on an alien's face and ride off into the like that's it.
Yeah, I like that. It's like a Michael Bay movie. It's explosions first, then logic after.
There was a rumor 4 years ago. I feel like we talked about it on the show at one point that Michael Bay was being tapped to develop a Lobo movie.
Oh, yeah, and that's still a rumor. It's still going around.
And I think at the time I was like, that's the one Michael Bay DC project I'm kind of behind.
Yeah, but is it also like when you have like two magnets I can't touch? Like if it's just too similar.
The problem is I'm not sure Michael Bay is too much of a jackass to like subvert Lobo the way you're supposed to. He would just be like, look how cool this guy is.
He's fucking sweet.
The problem with Michael Bay is, besides the explosions, he doesn't know source material that well. He took Transformers and just went, we got a lot of sponsor money, we got to do this. I think if he did Lobo, it would come out very bad, but it would look visually good.
Yeah.
But really racist.
Yeah. He doesn't even say his Lobo words anymore. It's just
like all just offensive terms from other like languages.
Yeah. Lobo 2, Lobo builds the wall. Oh no.
Lobo mania.
That's amazing. All right, let's go to the next question from the most disgusting secret agent.
Is it Agent Sanchez?
It's Agent Sanchez. What an awful way to have a disguise.
Well, but because he's laundering money, so he's a dirty agent. He's Agent Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah. No, it's just he has to wear a costume, so he just took a shit to look like a mustache. That's how he disguises himself.
Jesus Christ. What does Agent Sanchez ask?
He asks for the last time, can you talk about Lobo and the space dolphins? Are they only in Lobo comics or do they show up in other parts of DC?
They showed up in a couple books, but mostly just in Lobo comic books.
Yeah, so Lobo has, he's a tough as nails.
Yeah.
He'll kill without thinking about it. He gets the job done. He honors his contracts, but he has one soft spot. Mm-hmm. He has one little part of his heart that where he's not fully like a fraggin bastich.
It's the PETA part of his brain.
And it's the part of his brain that is kind of this like animal lover. It's specifically that he loves space dolphins, but there are lots of comics where he extends that to other animals where he's like the main man doesn't hurt a kitty cat, or like he would say something like that, or like
I think he refuses to fight Dexter because he's a cat.
Yeah,
I believe that's a thing.
Yeah, I feel like, is that an injustice or is that just its own thing?
Lobo wasn't an injustice too. I think Dexter. I think he appeared in one of the Red Lantern books or in one of the Jeff Johns books back when he was doing Green Lantern.
Yeah,
introduced all the other cores.
Yeah, I mean,
Lobo was that the Dexter one where he like falls in love with his sister?
No,
no, Dexter's a cat. I don't know what.
That's a Dexter joke.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Keeping it
there's
real, like 2011.
I have an issue of like the Peter David run of Aquaman from the 90s where Aquaman had the hook hand and stuff like that. And in that one, he fights Lobo in an issue. And then Lobo's like, no, I like you. You look after the dolphins. Like,
really?
he and Aquaman kind of have a bond because
They both like animals.
because also in that run of Aquaman was retconned to have been raised by dolphins.
What?
Like, I actually think he gets Lobo's help because like his mom, this dolphin named, this dolphin named Porm, gets like injured, and Lobo's like, can't have that, and they kind of team up, if I'm not mistaken.
It's weird that Aquaman keeps asking you to put it in his blowhole.
No.
There's an issue that came out recently. It was one of the like the either the holiday specials or the Christmas specials or like a New Year special. DC does these books where it's like it's $10 for 8 stories and there's a bunch of characters. Lobo was in one of them. He was talking about his space dolphins, but I think I remember in the Justice League of America book where Batman hires him to be part of the Justice League. He teams up with Vixen and he like gives her mad respect for her animal powers.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole thing where he's like trying to like, I think he's talking to the Atom and Killer Frost, and like they go down to find Ray Palmer stuck in the microverse or something.
Yeah.
And Lobo goes in there and they see like those little like amoeba animals.
Right.
And him and Ryan Choi have like a heart to heart of like, hey man, you don't always got to be the main man. You could take a sideline and like really think about what you're gonna do, because Ray Palmer is trying to like save like this microverse, but he can't. So he's like he's got to leave. He can't save everybody.
Lobo has a real soft side that gets explored in that Justice League of America book, and I don't remember the exact moment, but there is a moment in an earlier arc of that where I think he's fighting Tracer, which is like the kind of DC's version of Sabretooth from like the Marvel universe.
Oh wow.
And he's fighting Tracer, and Tracer is like a famous animal hunter, I guess, or whatever on that Earth. And he says something like, can't stand to see a dolphin cry, and like just punches him through the head or something like that. Like the dolphins are a thing for Lobo.
Wow.
He's got a soft spot. He's a man with a heart.
I mean, I kind of love that. That's amazing. All right, let's go to the
humanizing part of him. Sorry.
Let's go to the next question from. This is another one of those names. Not about Andre. So we've got like the real Josh Gill, not the real Josh Gill. The
right. This is not about it.
Yeah, this
Andre?
is not about Andre.
Okay.
We have. Is it not? This is not Josh or whatever. We got.
There's nobody here named Josh. Yeah.
God,
but this is not Andre.
Yeah. This is another one of those ones where they only tell you one name that they aren't.
Yeah.
You do the rest. I gave you all the clues. Not About Andre asks, is Lobo the most challenging character to script in 2021? Love you. We love you too. And I think it's the easiest.
What's your pitch then? Because we already know that Hunter's got the 6-issue like Lobos versus Lobos pitch.
I mean, I do love that. I think that's great. But also, I would love for it to be like I know that they're technically dead or something like that, or it was destroyed, but the bunny rabbits and like cartoon characters universe.
Oh, Earth 26. Yeah. They're back now, post Death Metal.
Oh yeah,
Multiverse is back. Yeah.
Okay,
Captain Carrot's back.
I want to see like a Captain Carrot like team up issue, because I think that you get the animal love thing, so he's gonna be sort of sweet to this character,
right?
And maybe there's like some like serial killer like inside of their universe.
You want like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but you replace Bob Hoskins with Lobo.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm asking for.
Oh, that'd be great. Who framed Captain Carrot? We got it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Fuck, that's good. Damn it. I hate when you say something that I initially want to make fun of, and then I think about it for like half a second. I'm like, oh, that's fucking good.
I read the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Totally. Okay, Hunter, you said you got a sort of different pitch. What's your other sort of approach to writing Lobo nowadays?
So, I mean, my pitches were Crisis on Infinite Lobos and Lobo Rematch, where he fights the hot Lobo and then they just have like a final confrontation.
Yeah, we all need to see that.
Yeah,
I
wanted to see it be like a 2 fucking page like issue. It's literally just he shows up and just rips the fucking head off.
You want him to get one punched like Guy Gardner?
There's part of me that wants to see that too, but there's also part of me that wants to just have 6 issues of 2 people beating each other to dust, just like for 6, and then they finally just go. One's dead. But writing Lobo,
He goes, "You're
is
my
a
only
double-edged
real
sword.
friend."
Oh, Jesus.
Writing Lobo is a double-edged sword because you have characters that interact with him like Crush or like Batman, where they can kind of like talk him into certain things and be like, oh yeah, don't talk like this, don't do stuff like this. But writing him specifically, I think you get a pass, honestly, for what the character he is. Like with Deadpool, before Duggan and Hussein changed what he was in 2012, Deadpool was just the lol random guy where you could say anything and it could be passed off as, oh, it's just Deadpool,
Yeah.
So I think Lobo has that sort of mentality with writers where it's like, you can do whatever you want. Lobo could either have a political agenda where he punches Trump in the dick, or he can, team up with Trump and stop ISIS or something. Like it's whatever you want it to be, just because it's a comic.
I think I agree with what you're saying. I think the trick with Lobo is that you can always tell, like, if the writer's heart is in the right place. There are Lobo books where it's just about, like, yeah, he's the guy the ladies want to fuck, and he's it's like, no, like, those books are just, if you write that now, you're like, again, like I said, you're like 3 decades late on our like vision of what a healthy man is, right? But if you are Steve Orlando, who we've talked to, and you throw him in Justice League of America, and
Orlando,
and the book itself is obviously has all these great messages in that, and then you have this guy in there that like says one thing or calls like Black Canary a keezy femme, but then also does the right thing. You can then embrace the mayhem, have him just like swallow a bunch of fucking grenades or like whatever you want him to do.
Mm-hmm.
You could do all of that because you're like, oh, we're making fun of it. Like, like Lobo can still be sincere in his interactions, but you're like, the character itself is the thing we're making fun of.
Okay.
Like, and I think if you're doing that, you can write Lobo the way he's always been written forever, because people will pick up that your intention is like, isn't this an absurd vision of what being a man is?
It's commentary.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I've got it. I've got the pitch.
Okay.
I want to see a Lobo and Harley Quinn like raid redemption story where they're just like going through a building and just causing like complete chaos. Like they get locked in some fucking like prison or something like that and have to get their way out. And have to just like blast their way through.
Yeah.
I
would watch a Lobo like prison escape movie where it's like Takron Galtos, like a galactic kind of space prison sort of thing.
I just feel like him and Harley would team up so well together.
I think they've done that before. Not the one you're pitching. Like Lobo and Harley have interacted. I think it was called Harley Quinn's Black Book.
Yeah. Oh, her little black book. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I believe there was a Lobo issue. I think it was like issue 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Where they team up and it's just chaos. It's because it's toxic masculinity and Harley Quinn by Palmiotti and Dini maybe
Connor,
where it was just like pure chaos in that run. So you mix toxic masculinity mayhem with Harley Quinn's chaos, and it's
I think Harley has got that sort of like overt sexuality meets like super feministic like aggression. So you get the two of those, and it's like.
I mean, they're a good pair because they're both sort of subverting and commenting on the things they also revel in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that works. I do like your Who Framed Captain Carrot pitch though.
It's a good one.
All right, let's go to the last question on Instagram from Flying Fox 1089. Do a barrel roll.
You'll never defeat Andra.
Do a barrel roll.
Try a flip.
Thank you. Would you talk about the Batman who frags?
Have you read the Infinite Hour Extreme?
That is the only death metal book I read because it's Lobo.
Yeah,
nice.
They
I didn't really like death metal too much, and I was like, they got a Lobo issue. You got me.
They made this tie-in issue called Infinite Hour Extreme with like 4 X's or 3 X's. And it's all about like Lobo has been sent on this mission by Lex Luthor to retrieve some of the 10th metal.
It's a MacGuffin, basically.
And while he does it, one of the Dark Multiverse Batmen that comes after him is the Batman who frags.
Oh my
he's
God.
from a universe of all Lobos, and he's the only surviving Lobo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he didn't kill all the other Lobos.
No, he did. He killed every other Lobo except for
so the universe was all Lobos. He's the last Lobo, and
That's fucking
he's a bat
hilarious.
Lobo. Yeah, he's the Batman who frags.
Such a stupid concept. I love it.
It's so stupid, but watching Lobo and the Batman who frags fight is like exactly what we've been talking about.
yeah.
Like what you want out of Lobo.
And the Batman Who Frags is a phenomenal name.
It's why I'm excited about that fucking Godzilla King Kong thing. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I just want to see them
Let
fucking
them fight.
destroy shit. Yeah, like I don't give a shit about the storyline. Literally, like I think I was listening to like
Ancient Civilization.
Yeah. I think it was Kevin Smith's podcast or something where they were talking about like I wish they would just release a cut where you don't have to watch any humans. It's just
the big
literally
fights.
it's just the big fights. He's like, I'd pay more for that. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Well, then you'd only be paying for a 40-minute movie in the original 2014
I just want to see
Godzilla.
I just want to see lizard kill monkey. Like what's so bad about that?
Oh, so you're Team Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also Team Godzilla.
I think I'm Team Godzilla as well, but I want to know why Godzilla has forsaken us, according to that trailer.
Why is this giant monster
Is it Mecha
not
Godzilla
defending
in
us?
disguise?
Supposed to be Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, so
Oh my god! Like pulls off like a costume that it's wearing. Like who made this?
King Kong pulls off. It's like it's Old Man McGregor.
yeah. Let's have a quick
I would have
Godzilla
gone
King
there
Kong
too.
podcast.
If it wasn't for you and that damn monkey.
It's Old Man Mecha Godzilla. He was going to take down the amusement park for the insurance money.
Yeah, so there's a rumor going around for the movie that there's two Godzillas in this movie, one of them being the son. The one dies at the beginning, and then the government takes the body and then makes Mecha Godzilla and then turns it against everybody, and then Godzilla and Kong team up to fight it. And that's the whole
I love how insanely in-depth Godzilla lore is. I've been reading so much.
Of course you do have.
There's Gojira and Space Godzilla and Godzuki and
I want to see Mecha Ghidorah in there too, because we got that little tease at the end.
You know what they should do? They should like find like an expanding ray that like turns like a famous sumo wrestler into like a giant kaiju.
I think they did that back in the old 60s movies. I think they had like it was Godzilla versus like and it was just like some kung fu guy.
Oh, that's
That's it.
dope.
Sumo versus Godzilla. That'd be
I mean,
the most you thing.
You're hitting me where I live.
Yeah.
I love sumo wrestling.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
All
get,
right.
get Yokozuna Hakuho to take on
Yeah.
Godzilla. Yeah.
Is that the one that like is real stanky about his salt?
No, that's Terutsuyoshi. He's not a Yokozuna. He'll never be great.
Wow, throwing out some hot takes.
Hakuho is like the Gretzky of sumos.
Really?
Like some of the greatest. This is such a tangent. Some of the
He's
greatest,
really good, but has no personality.
Some
Is
of
that
the
what you're
greatest
saying?
sumo wrestlers of all time maybe win 8 or 9 tournaments in their careers.
Wow.
Hakuho has won 46.
Oh my god.
He's LeBron. He's Tom Brady. He's Gretzky.
That's incredible.
He's Venus Williams or Serena Williams. He's the greatest there ever
Did you say
was.
Fetus Williams?
No, why would
Venus.
I say? Why
Sounded
would I
like
say
you said fetus, Williams.
Fetal's kids.
Jeez, you're disgusting. Let's move on. We're leaving Instagram and heading on over to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice, no one's ever mean.
Not even once.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a great place for us. First question comes from Dr. Flug 87.
Oh, fellow doctor.
Yes,
There can only be one.
that's right.
Paging Dr. Flug.
I am the fire. I am the doctor will be king. That's the
You're trying to sing like from the Highlander soundtrack?
yeah.
Oh, I only ever do the "Who wants to live forever."
Oh yeah, that works too. Doom, doom. Dr. Flug asks, "What's Lobo's most badass moment?"
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
I have one
Okay, let's hear
that
it.
I think you guys will hate, but also love. So
right.
so back in I want to say 94 or 91, Marvel and DC teamed up to do Amalgam Comics,
Right.
where Lobo crossed over with everyone's favorite duck, Howard the Duck. And I
That's
think that's
right.
one of his greatest moments of all
Wow.
time.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
So-
Isn't that Marvel?
So
well, it's Marvel and DC.
Amalgam was like they were blended. It wasn't like
Oh.
JLA versus Avengers. It
You
was
got
like
Super
you got-
Soldier, you got Dark Claw.
yeah, Logan Wayne was Dark Claw. He was like
okay.
Wolverine and Batman
Okay,
fused into
yeah,
one
yeah.
character. And yeah, so is he just called Lobo the Duck? I can't
It's
even
Lobo
remember.
the Duck. Yep.
Wow, it's so like I guess what else are you gonna call it, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Another good moment would be oh man, there's plenty.
I mean, I'm gonna go killing Santa.
Claus.
Yeah, killing Santa.
a
That's
really
the top
good
one, right? Like,
him becoming RoboCop is a great one.
I think it's getting
blows up a
kicked-
planet.
I was gonna say, I think it's
And
getting
Odie-
kicked out of hell and then getting
That's a
kicked out of
phenomenal
heaven.
too.
Like
Yeah.
he's so uncontrollable and such a menace that the afterlife was like, you can never come here.
Wow.
I think one of the greatest moments
that
is
why
gaining
he's
Batman's
regenerates?
respect.
Well, it's not
Oh,
why
yeah,
he
yeah.
regenerates, but it's why he can't die.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like canonically banned from heaven and hell.
Yeah, because he fucks up too much.
Yeah.
He's too much of a handful.
I love
But
the
think
idea
one
that
of-
he makes it to heaven and he's like, he just puts his dirty boots on the counter and they're like, actually, you can't. This is a communal space. You can't. Like,
That's so funny. I really love that.
Sorry, Hunter. You had.
And so I think Lobo's biggest triumph
Badass moment?
was gaining Batman's respect.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, back when Justice League versus Suicide Squad, Justice League No Justice, and Justice League of America,
Yeah.
he had like a basic little arc where Batman and him were like boys. Initially, it started with Batman going, "All right, I know you can do some good, but you're not going to join the Justice League for free, so I'm going to pay you whatever the fuck you want. Like, I'll buy you your own space dolphin, whatever you want, I will pay you. Just do good on the team." Eventually, Lobo ends up not taking the money after like a couple issues. He's just like, "I don't need the money. I know what we're doing here. You'll pay me later if I even want it. Like, if we survive," kind of stuff like that. So I think Lobo gaining Batman's respect is one of his most badass moments.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question, which comes from a possible bird sighting.
Oh, only possibly?
Yeah. I thought maybe not.
No, couldn't have been. It's like a really like unconfident bird watcher.
Or it's just like a really unconfident Superman sighting.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane?
No, it's just
was it a bird?
Is it a bird? I could never tell.
Possibly. Maybe.
It's a really bad reporter.
It's Jimmy Olsen, but bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically a clickbait thing. It's like, is this image Superman? But maybe. I don't know. You decide. Yeah, you click this.
Yeah, you weren't there. How could you fucking know?
Yeah.
Dork. Possible bird sighting asks, are there any love interests for Lobo? Is there a sensitive side to the main man?
I mean, certainly a sensitive side. We've talked about his love of animals.
He's got a
he
kid,
does
right?
kind of get like a general like sense of doing good when he's working
Yeah.
with the Justice League of America and stuff
He
like
has
that.
a kid, right?
Yes, but
Yeah, but is that love or is that fraggin?
No,
Is
Lobo
that-
doesn't love. I think Lobo's direct quote is Lobo doesn't love anyone but himself. So
Yeah.
I think
You can really love yourself.
Besides, he loves himself a lot. Besides, all the time, every day.
All that
Besides,
giz.
like in the bathroom. But besides, besides the 2014 reboot where they gave him a love interest where it was like a female cesarean, and we don't know who Crush's mom is because apparently she wasn't a cesarean; she's only half cesarean. So we don't know.
Is that where the kid can't come out, but that you start trying to take it out, but then it slips out?
Jesus.
Sure, you're the
Half
doctors.
cesarean.
Zardian.
Oh,
yeah.
my
I mean,
bad.
I don't think he has. Yeah, I don't think Lobo's really
loves himself and the Dolphins.
romance type. The sensitive side of Lobo is almost a sort of fatherly thing with Ryan Choi. He's a little.
Really?
He kind of like has a sort of,
It's only a couple issues, but
or like a big brother kind of thing. Like he sort of wants to look after him. Like
because he's weak. He's like, you're okay.
when Batman's recruiting the team, he's like, "No, I'm here for Ray Palmer. Who the fuck are you?" And Ryan Choi's like, "I'm his like lab assistant. And I sometimes help him as the Atom." And Batman's like, "We're done here. I came for Ray Palmer." And Lobo's like, "Come on, Bats, give the kid a chance." Like, and that's just on meeting him. Like
Wow.
Lobo has a sort of connection to Ryan Choi that way. And yeah, Lobo obviously cares about animals and things like that. I don't think he especially cares about his daughter Crush.
No, he tries to kill her because he needs
yeah.
to be the last cesarean. So
Yeah.
he's got to kill her.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That came into the not Forever Evil. What was it? Year of the Villain.
Yeah.
When Apex Lex was around, which was the opposite of what Lex Luthor would do, but that's a whole other story. He came in contact, like he found out that Crush was at least half Zarian, and hanging out on like Titans, and he was like, gotta go stop her. And then we get like a kind of like, he's like, I don't remember who your mom was. Like, I just fuck around. It's just me. I'm surprised she even came down to Earth. Like, hey.
God, I take it back. He is cool.
Oh no. Oh no. The daddy issues are acting up.
Yeah. He sounds like a guy I want to disappoint.
Oh no.
All right. Why don't we leave Reddit and head on over to the Discord?
Oh. Ducks in the score. Did you
again? You the same one?
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I got.
If you want to be my Discord,
no, it's going to be classic rock.
Oh, okay.
Hang on.
Carry on my
Duck
Discord.
scored, son. There'll be ducks when scored is done. There you go.
I still like mine. All right. First and only question from the Discord comes from our favorite spacey, sexy texter.
Ooh, Cosmic DM.
That's right, taking a rocket ship to those DMs. Who
Taking a space bike to those DMs.
Oh yeah, gonna giz everywhere.
Fetal's gift.
Yeah. Who asks, didn't Lobo kill his race, but he can regenerate and stuff? So how could he kill his own race?
Never explained.
The only thing I think of is that he has to get rid of every molecule.
I think he vaporized the planet, and
Yeah.
in turn it blew up everybody's molecules, and
Yeah.
there's nothing left of it. But that's
Yeah.
like a barely an excuse. Like,
Yeah, I mean, again, in the original ones, it was never about needing an explanation. It was
No,
just like,
it was- he did-
here's how violent I am.
Yeah.
You think Wolverine stuff? It's like,
here's
just that.
Lobo.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to try to come up with a comic-y thing, I think the vaporized at the molecular level thing is
Yeah,
a
I think
pretty
that's what it
good,
was.
relatively reasonable approach. I mean, Lobo has been like poisoned in comics before, where I think it's in that Justice League of America arc and it like affects his healing. Like Czarnians can be dealt with, but it's just very, very difficult. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
in
at
the
all.
in the LoboCop book, he drinks himself to death. So they take his brain out and put it in a robot cop body,
Yeah.
and then
Oh
he
my
eventually
God.
goes, "Where's my body? I don't want to do this anymore." And they take his brain out and put it back in the body. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. So he can die, but
Yeah.
like not really. So
Dead or alive, you're drinking with me.
That's
my
incredible.
LoboCop,
It's good. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's meant to be a very specific answer to this. I think whatever you come up with is probably good enough. But it would also be an interesting story to just be like, if there was a Lobo story where they're like, oh no, Zarnia's like out there, like
it's
you
still
blew,
around.
like you blew us up, and like you know how you are. Like we've
Yeah.
just been over here. We're glad you're gone, so we didn't like let you know that we were fine.
I think it's
Wow.
a scenario where
I think
he
that would be
got,
funny,
Like
yeah.
he just left and just like let's say he was shunned because like he was the weakest of the Zarnians, and he was like, "Oh man, I want to be tough. I want to go to another solar
Yeah.
system that has nobody that's like me, and I'll just say I killed them all, so they don't fact check me."
Yeah, maybe the daddy issues were Lobos the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe the Lobos were the friends we made along
Yeah.
the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the last question, but we are
Wow.
not done because it's time for everyone's favorite game. Can you guess the name of the character based on someone who does not read comic books and describe those characters to us?
Nice.
So if you
You're
don't
getting
know,
good at that.
I know. I'm a professional. I've been doing it for so long. We've never did any other game, so
That's true.
you know. If you don't know what this game is, I send a photo of a DC character to my wife, who does not care for nor does she read comics, though she does weirdly like 90s X-Men.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
90s X-Men.
Yeah, and she watched a bit of the Justice League show, but not the Batman animated series or the
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Just
Anyways.
like Justice League Unlimited.
yes.
Yeah.
But I send her a photo of character. She has no idea what it is. She sends back 4 clues describing what she sees.
All right. So, Hunter, neither you nor I have seen this image or heard these clues before. You can guess as many times as you want. You
Yeah.
can guess on every clue or just, wait for more clues. It's totally up to you. There's no wrong way to play this game other than getting it wrong, which I do get sometimes.
There's like this there's this thing I do when I like workshop with clients where we have to like put a bunch of words up and then we take them down and like go we end up with like just a few words at the end. And I'm always like, there's no wrong answers, just ones that I'm going to wipe away.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's have it.
Okay.
Let's have these clues.
First
let's
clue.
start. Yeah.
Keanu Reeves with a dirt stash?
Keanu with a dirt stash?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Hot Topic Lobo. He didn't have a stash.
No. I will also wouldn't say something that complimentary.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's true. You got very angry.
Yeah. I didn't know he existed. I wouldn't have put him up.
Oh wow.
Dirt stash.
Keanu Reeves.
Uh,
And it's only DC characters, correct?
That's correct.
yes, yeah.
Are they tied to Lobo or are they just like random?
I think it's
No.
just random.
I used to do tied to the thing, but then it got too easy.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't even
Is
have a
it-
clue.
It's not Weather Wizard, is it?
It is weather. Holy shit.
That's a good,
Holy,
guess.
Holy shit.
Now that you're saying it, yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Wow. The other clues were costume points you to the thunder.
Sure.
That would have got me.
I put this one in. Gambit meets a Pokemon trainer.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good one.
And will shock you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have got it by then. But wow, Keanu Reeves the dirt stash is what you
Wow.
got. Weather Wizard. That's a reach.
Did I show it to you?
That's why I'm the doctor.
Did you see it by accident?
No.
Doctor knows best.
Good Lord.
Fucking-
God, sometimes were you really making up for the double dose?
For the Patreon
Yeah.
episode where I only went 3 for 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Hunter, thank you so much for being on this podcast.
Oh no, thank you guys for having me for sure.
Do you got stuff to promote? Talk about your podcast. Talk about people where people can find you online.
I have too many promotions, but I'll boil
Do
it
it.
down to a couple.
Jesus
So,
Christ, Kyle Clark just keeps texting me and it comes in my headphones. It's driving me nuts. Anyways, yeah, continue.
So you can follow me at Scruffy Mooseman on most social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, I think TikTok, maybe. I don't know. Don't follow me on that. But you can also follow me at Android's Amazing Podcast, where I host with my buddy James Santana. We also are workers at Android's Amazing Comics down in Sayville, New York. It is a local comic shop where we, talk all the biz, and then we host the podcast there as well. And then you can find me every Thursday at The Farthest Galaxy. It's a Star Wars podcast I just recently started doing with my one of my best friends, a big Star Wars guy. Super fun so far. We just finished. By the time this one comes out, I want to say Revenge of the Sith, but I don't know when this is coming out. So I'll
Nice.
just say Revenge of the Sith is when we're about to cap off
Wow.
our. Yeah, we just did the original trilogy, and we're doing the prequels now. So
Nice.
we're working our way through the Star Wars canon. We're going to talk about comic books and etc. And then, that's where you can find me. Hit me up about Lobo if you want. One day I'll write the Lobo books. Don't worry, guys. I got you.
Wow.
That's
And,
awesome.
I'm stoked because we got an inside man in a comic book shop now, too.
Oh yeah, hit me up with any questions. I got you.
I finally got that Spider-Man blue, so I have to find the
Yeah,
next
you
thing
were
I'm
hunting
looking
for that for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough
Uh,
cookie to get.
It was challenging. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm still looking for the Captain America white. That's probably the next one.
That's racist.
It's the only Captain America.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
there's.
Anyways, if we'd love to hear from you residents. Maybe you want to ask us a question about next week's theme.
Yeah, next week. I know what next week's about.
Drum roll, please.
uh,
Anything?
Uh,
Drum, drum.
what is next week?
If not, I'm just gonna come up with one.
Booster Gold.
Wait. Next week we're talking standalone DC films.
You really built up to that.
We're talking all of the films that don't fit into a series. So we're not talking the Keaton Schumacher movies. We're not talking the Nolan verse. We're not
you're
talking
Constantine, Keanu
we're-
Reeves.
we're not talking DC, but we're
Oh,
talking
yeah.
Constantine, Jonah Hex, Steel, Catwoman, Green
Wow,
Lantern.
Oh my god.
We're talking all of the standalone DC films. The Losers.
Catwoman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Watchmen,
Watchmen.
technically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So standalone DC films. That's next week.
Are we including animated in there?
I guess we could. I was just thinking live action, but
Oh, I'm just saying. Well, you can reach out to us through our various social media platforms, such as our Facebook.
Dr. DC Podcast.
Twitter.
At Dr. DC.
Instagram.
Dr. DC Podcast.
Email.
DrDCPodcast@gmail.com.
Or come on our subreddit.
r/Dr_DC.
You can give us a call on the doc phone.
208-917-3238.
208-917-DCEU
If you're nasty.
Or go to our website.
DrDCPodcast.com or .ca.
And of course, 5-star reviews. We always want those, babies.
Gimme!
Yeah, Danny wants some
5-star
reviews. Make
If
me
they're
feel
not
good.
on iTunes or Facebook, make sure you take a screenshot and send it to us so we know where you put your review.
And if you want to talk with us more, you can do it on the Docscord, which means you subscribe to our Patreon.
That's right. Patreon.com/DrDC. There's a $1, $5, and $7 a month level. All of them get access to the Docscord, our very, very fun Discord server. There's lots of great stuff happening over there. Lots of conversations and book club and questions of the day and just random conversations. And then at the higher levels, there's full bonus episodes. There's video episodes.
That's
There's
right.
episode theme polls, all sorts of crazy stuff. And it all supports us.
And if you want even more, you fucking greedy little bastiches.
Oink, oink, oink.
Yeah, get even more content from us through our other podcast.
Ghost Facers, a Supernatural rewatch. Richard and I are going through every single episode of Supernatural. We just started season 2, baby.
Yeah. And the first episode is with Kyle Clark. We're bringing in guests for season 2.
Yeah, so check that out as well. It's a ton of fun.
All right. Thanks so much. And say goodbye, Hunter.
Bye, Hunter.
Ciao, ciao.
Adios.
Peace.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.